My name is Adriel Brophy, and I own a company called the Orderly Manor. And I've been organizing professionally for 17 years, but I've only been here for 3 years. I got married and I moved from Asheville, North Carolina, so I still miss the mountains. But I did try and learn to surf. Was pseudo-successful. So I really love organizing, and this is going to be very interactive tonight. Someone has already asked me if they're going to go home feeling bad about themselves. And we're not going to expose any other hoarders. But what we're going to do, it's a therapeutic process, okay? Organizing always brings up a lot of emotions, and even thinking about the things that we have or the things we have to deal with. It's a therapy, but we're all in it together tonight, so we're going to make it through. It's not a problem. The question I get asked the most, I met with a Wells Fargo financial advisor last week. They have like a home help sort of category at the bank there, and so we were talking about a client together. And he goes, before you go and meet this guy, I just want to know, why would anybody want to do what you do? Yeah. So I am happy to take any questions tonight, but I've tried to anticipate a few of them, and that's the one I get asked the most, is why do you want to climb around in people's attics? Why do you want to go through their storage units with them? So I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and maybe you can help me figure it out, because I'm still not sure. But, so I am a little bit OCD, I'm a little ADHD, so it's important for me to be organized, because I can't function otherwise. I don't know where my keys are. I have the tile thing attached to my keys. Yep, see? So I have a and so there's things that I know about myself that I can't function, and then I learned that other people also have a hard time functioning in clutter. But from a very young age, I was very tidy with things, but I kept everything. So I was a hoarder, but I was very tidy about it. My mother was a jeweler, so she was a fine jeweler. She did work for Biltmore House, repairing some of their historical things. She was a very accomplished artist, and she would pull furniture out of a dumpster, and that was another art project for her. So my OCD, combined with her artistic chaos, seems to have produced a professional organizer in me. But it was good, because living with her taught me that everybody has a different way of approaching things. Everybody is really good at something, and organizing is important for some people in some things, and it's not a focus for other people in other ways. And so it's important also not to be too hard on ourselves. I can't find the lady who asked me about that. We're not being hard on ourselves, and we're not being hard on each other tonight. So anyway, I was always very tidy, but my mom got tired of me going through her stuff. So as I got older, she was like, you know what, your aunt had a baby, why don't you go help her set up the room there? Or, oh, a friend of ours moved, why don't you go help her unpack her closet? So little by little, I was working with other people, and then I became a translator for the school district where I was living, and there was some major overhauls, and they laid a bunch of us off. So I spoke Spanish, I was qualified to do that, and I put things away. Well, this was back in 2000. Okay, so there weren't any hoarder shows on TV, there was none of this, make over your closet, make over your house. But there was a professional organizer interviewed on NPR, and my dad called me and he said, that weird thing that you do, putting stuff away, that's a job. So I apprenticed with this lady for a year, and she relocated, and I opened my business in 2001. Southern Living Magazine did a story on us the next year. I know, that was exciting. Thank you. I had a show on cable. It really helped to move things along. But I learned as I went that there was a lot of therapy involved. So I started doing more reading into OCD, ADHD. I met with behavioral therapists. We work in conjunction a lot, helping people overcome some of these tendencies. Perfectionism holds a lot of us back, so that's a hard thing too. So the next thing people usually ask me is, how do you know what to do? Like, when you walk into a room that's a mess, most of us look and we think the whole house is a mess, and we close the door and we go shopping. Right? So I've done all these studies, and I've worked with people for years, and one of the things I learned is that People are all organized. We all accomplish things. Okay, we get our kids to school, we get to work, we get our work done. We have a way of doing things, and sometimes we've been forced into traditional methods. Maybe we think we have to have a filing cabinet because that's where you keep paper. But it's not true. You know, you can keep it in a box, you can keep it in a 3-ring binder. There's a lot of different options for the different kinds of people we are, and we'll actually take a quiz after the break to find out what kind of organizers we are. Help our brains. And it'll give us a little bit of a boost because it'll remind us that we are organized, and we just have to apply the organization that we do in one area to another area. Okay, so did anybody learn how to organize in school? Did you take that class in college, Organizing 101, right? It's not something that we're taught. Right. But this is a big one. Like, where to keep your keys, you know? How to file your tax papers. So these are things that we're not taught in school. Does anybody here consider themselves sort of a naturally organized person? Yes? Owning a label maker is a good sign. I figured like a few people here would feel like they were organized because I love to read organizing articles and it's what I do all day. So, you know, it's something that we enjoy talking about. But who did you learn to be organized from? Did you learn to be organized because somebody in your house growing up was maybe super messy and so you stepped in? Or did you have a very organized person in your house who taught you how to also be organized? Military. So that got passed down. Military. How about you guys? Somebody taught you?
Just my parents. My mom is everything has a place, and dad was everything is a mess.
Yeah. But if you don't grow up with that, then it's not a skill that it's just like balancing your checkbook. Some people had parents that didn't know how to do that, so they don't know how to do it. So organizing is a skill that we can learn though, okay? It's just something that they don't offer in school. So for me, it was seeing how my mom worked and knowing that I couldn't function like that. And then my dad is an architect, so he's like super OCD about everything because opposites attract, so they were very happy together. But for me, I was like, okay, I can't function this way, so I'm gonna go that way. So I said we were in Southern Living. I also did some interviews for Discovery Channel for the show Hoarders. So another question that people also ask, is that a real thing? Do people really live like that? It's true, yes. Maybe somebody that you know is battling with that right now. You know, after those shows were released, I got a lot of calls from people similar to what we're doing right now who just wanted to know, how do I get organized? Somebody in my family was a hoarder and I don't want to end up like that. Or I'm spending a lot of time on QVC and I feel like this is going down a bad path, you know? So it's good to be aware that there is an extreme of that, but what's the opposite extreme of hoarding? Super organized. And guess what happens when a super organized person's world crashes? They turn into hoarders. So an extreme, that's something I want everybody to remember tonight. Either extreme is unhealthy. I work with parents that throw all their kids' stuff away while they're at school. Guess what you're creating? You're creating a hoarder. Because emotionally they had no say over what happened to their stuff, so now they're going to want to keep everything. So it's a delicate balance. Yeah. It's a little more complicated than just like, oh, I like to put things away, or oh, I'm a little bit messy. It's nice to see that either extreme is, you know, not ideal. So when I was doing the vetting for hoarders and I was going into people's houses, I mean like boots, gloves, masks, I burned my clothes when I left. It was bad. But you realize that that is a mental condition. They've linked it to schizophrenia. So it's not something to be taken lightly. And there's actually, I've got the scale with me, but there's actually a scale online that can let you know if you're sort of heading that way. Obviously, the ones they show on TV, they do that for dramatic fulfillment. The people that I interviewed, they told me were not bad enough, that they didn't want them on TV because it wasn't extreme enough. So it's good to keep those things in mind so we don't go either way. We don't want to be hoarders and we don't want to be too OCD. So what are the reasons to get organized? Why, do you guys have any reasons that you particularly wanted to hear about organization tonight? Mental clarity is a good one. Time saving. Which time is money, so then you're talking about money. Peace. Yeah.
Find stuff.
Yes. Right. So all of these things add up to high blood pressure, really. You know what I mean? So the stress that comes along with all of these consequences that we are already aware of, whether consciously or subconsciously, we're thinking about them all the time. We're think about all that money I wasted on those shoes that don't fit. What about all that stuff in the garage that got flooded in the last hurricane? We are aware of those things, whether they're in front of us or not. So I'm going to give you some scary reasons. It's not to make you feel bad about yourself. These are facts, sort of. It says after 9 days, our nervous systems can't take a mess anymore. So if something is stressing you out, after 9 days, your nervous system starts to react to it, and it continues to react to it until you get that mess cleaned up. So you got a week. It's really sunny out right now. It's a good time for spring cleaning. Okay? Another reason, we spend 8 days a year trying to organize ourselves, and then we give up. So all the frustration, the time lost looking for things, the money involved, we only spend about 8 days trying to work on it ourselves, and then we're like, you know what? I'm going to go shopping. A study in England said that we waste 153 days of our life searching for things. So whoever said looking for stuff, it's like half a year you're going to get back. Okay, here's another thing though that plays into it. People in the United States spend the average of 5 hours a day on their phones or tablets and 5 hours a day watching television. Now a lot of people are multitasking, okay? You're playing on your phone and you're watching TV at the same time. But guess what? You're only awake for about 15 hours a day. So a third of your time awake is being wasted when you could be cleaning up the stuff that's stressing out your nervous system, right? And then, living at the beach, we know there's a whole nother thing that we have to be worried about. We have to worry about water coming in. We have to worry about what would we take with us if there was a hurricane. Right now, if you had to leave your house, do you even know what's most important to you? Some people do. But it's something to think about. We had a really bad storm season, you know, and there were a lot of people that were affected by that. So, for us particularly on the Outer Banks, it's an important thing to consider. And lastly, somebody mentioned it already, but time is money. So all the time we're looking for things, all the time we're wasting in our lives, it's time that we have to spend cleaning it up in the end. So we got some tips. I have some worksheets here with some 5 tips. Now that everybody's like scared, you're all looking at me with like these big eyes. What are we gonna do? Okay, this is my sort of cheat sheet for being your own professional organizer, okay? It's coming around to you, but I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it a little bit. The first one seems really easy. It says pick a starting place, but guess what? 99% of the people who call me say, I don't know where to start. That's why I called you. Okay? Whatever project you're working on, walk in the door and turn left. Okay? Because people, this is what they do. They walk in the room and they go, look, it's a mess. Okay? So all you're seeing is this huge expanse, and we know psychologically that we got to break things down into manageable tasks. So walk in the door, turn left. If it's a bookcase you come to, do the top shelf, the next shelf, go down there. If it's dressers, do drawer, drawer, drawer. 15 minutes and stop. Okay? Do one thing, stop, and just move clockwise around the room, okay? Don't look at the whole room, just look at the next thing to your left. It really helps your brain be able to handle things. The 15-minute time limit, even people with ADHD or people with spectrum disorders, 15 minutes is a good amount of time for them for focusing. It's a good amount of time for any of us. Whatever's on your left, okay? And then tell yourself you did a good job and go do something else. The other thing that you need with you to start is you need a garbage bag, you need something to put donations in, and you need a laundry basket for all the stuff that you're gonna find that doesn't go in that room. Because once you start, if you start running around the house, you're gonna waste time and you're gonna get distracted. So those are 3 things that'll help you stay focused once you get your start. Garbage bag, something to put donations in, a box, and a laundry basket for things that go somewhere else in the house. So your 15 minutes aren't done until that laundry basket's put away. Okay? So do the first thing on your left, finish it top to bottom, and then go put your laundry basket away and be done. My iPad cut off. Okay, the second thing is to set time limits. We talked about the 15 minutes and why that's important. Does anybody know, according to biorhythms, when the most productive time of day is? 4 a.m. would be rough. I don't do appointments at 4 a.m. Yep, according to scientists, we are at our peak productivity at 10 a.m. Oh, you do! Right? So if you start at 10 a.m. and work until 10:15, your brain is on fire. You are ready to go. You're ready to make decisions. It's not taking a toll on you emotionally. You're awake, you're alert, and you can still do other things after your 15 minutes is over. The next thing it mentions is creating a home. Why do you think it's important that things have a place to go? So you can find them again. Convenient. What about all the other saboteurs that live in the house with you? Right. If something has a place that it belongs, you can ask somebody else to put it away. So it's a very important thing to have a home for your possessions. Most of the reasons that we don't put things away is because it's too much trouble. Why would it be too much trouble? Because you're tired. You got to think about it.
You're going to need it again.
You're going to probably want it the next day. What about you got to open a drawer? Okay? Kids hate that. Kids hate opening drawers. And guess what? We don't grow up that much. We hate opening drawers too. People hate dressers. They're always stacking. Where do we stack our clothes? On a chair, right? On a chair, because it's on the treadmill. Nobody likes drawers. It's terrible. You can't see what's in them. Stuff gets lost. Right? So don't make it hard on yourself. If it is too much trouble to put something away, you need to get rid of the trouble. Right? If you need to hang up all your clothes, put another bar in your closet and get rid of your dresser. Keep things in front of you if that's how your mind works. So that's one of the reasons people don't put things away. It's too much trouble. And that's one of the things we can consider with the other people that live in the house. Are we making systems that our kids can't use? Like that it's just not interesting for them? And if it's too much trouble, they're definitely not going to do it. Another reason we don't put things away, there's no space. Right? You know where it's supposed to go, but there's no room to put it there. Right? So what's the solution to that? Yeah, letting some things go. Not purging your kids' stuff while they're gone. Okay? Don't make little hoarders. You're going to regret it later. But there are some things we can do. So with paperwork, if you don't have any more room in your filing cabinet, 90% of what goes in your filing cabinet, guess what? Never comes back out again unless the IRS comes knocking at your door. And the IRS takes things that are digital copies now. So why are you keeping it anyway? If your bank can download your statements for the last 10 years, why are you keeping copies of them? Right? So pick a date, talk to your accountant, always talk to your accountant and talk to your lawyer, right? Because there's different date requirements for different things that you might do in life. But if the exact same thing that you have available in your filing cabinet is available for free digitally, the IRS will accept that. Okay? So that's an important thing to be aware of. So with paperwork, you can pick a date. You can say this is 2017, it's about to be 2018, even if you want to keep stuff for 10 years. How many of you have paperwork? This can be rhetorical, don't tell on yourselves. How many of you have something at home that's older than 2008? Right? It's been 10 years, guys, but it just it goes so fast. There's probably stuff that you're storing from 2008, and there's stuff your accountant's going to need this year that's probably not even in folders, right? So, it sounds like it was not that long ago, but it was 10 years ago. So picking a limit like that, we go through fluctuations in clothes sizes. Pick a couple of clothes sizes that you're comfortable with, and just in your mind say, if it doesn't match these 3 sizes, it's okay for me to let it go. Because if I get back to this size, I'm going to want new clothes, right? So give yourself some structure so that you don't have to think about every single decision. Okay? If you already have that in place, when you see something, you can say, this is 2007, goodbye. And it's already been made for you. Okay, another reason we don't put things away, we never made a place for it to begin with, right? I mean, y'all, the gift-giving season is coming. Do you have a place for all that stuff that's about to land on your house? Right? Regifting. Make some space. So, there's some things to think about. Realistically, we live in a beach box community. The closet's here, you guys. We can't keep anything. The struggle is real. And we got small closets, and we got palmetto bugs and hurricanes. So make sure the stuff that you love is protected. So those are 4 reasons why we don't put things away. So create a home. What's a way to make a decision about where something should live? Where do you put your Tupperware? In the kitchen. Right. Near the fridge, if that's where you load up the Tupperware. Near the stove. Put the silverware near the table. Right? So now we know why we don't put things away, but how do we figure out where to put them? What do they say in real estate? Location, location, location. So, how do you figure out what's the best location in your house? And it's really onerous, but sometimes the best thing to do is to take it all out. To take everything out of the cabinets in the kitchen and rethink it. Because sometimes we move and our mother-in-law unpacks the dishes for us, right? And where do they live for the next 20 years? Wherever she put them, right? It doesn't maybe make sense. It maybe isn't the most convenient place, but we don't ever rethink it. So sometimes to create a home, you have to have a clean slate. And you've probably read Marie Kondo's book. It's been very popular the last few years. And that's one of her things. But the reason for that is you have to train your brain to see the space that's there and see how much stuff you have. And when you have to see it and touch it to take it out and touch it to put it back in, it really sticks with you. You're not going to buy a 3rd waffle maker if you just had to load 2 of them back into the cabinets, right? You're going to regift it. So, when we're talking about creating a home, location, 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 and don't put it somewhere just because it's already been there, right? Last one says, let it go. What are some things in your life that automatically come in? Mail and bills. Right? Did you know you can unsubscribe from pre-approved credit card offers? Yes. I will post it on my Facebook page tomorrow. And I'll post it actually on the link for this event as well. You can unsubscribe from pre-approved credit card offers. I don't get, is that what it, is it Unroll Me?
Unroll Me, yeah.
No, you have to pay for that and they sell your information.
No, it's free. Unroll.me.
Okay.
I've done that one, and like I was signed up for 476 mailing lists.
Whoa.
And you can go in and it'll tell you every mailing list you're like subscribed to, and you just hit unsubscribe, 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 and it'll take you off.
Unroll.me?
And it's free.
It's free. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. Okay, so that's another thing that comes into your life every single day. Emails.
I'll post it.
Okay.
I'll post it.
She'll post it too.
Yeah.
We'll give you lots of links. So email comes into your life every single day. You're spending 5 hours on your phone looking at it, right? Trying to find the best deal. Whatever, reading about the latest vitamins, I don't know, they send all this stuff. Unsubscribe from that, unsubscribe from credit card deals. It does not prevent you from getting a loan or getting a credit card in the future, it just stops the junk mail. I did it for my husband and I 3 months ago, and I'd say like 4 days out of the week we don't have any mail in the mailbox. Which is amazing, because we own 2 businesses. Like, that's everything. What are some other things we can let go of?
Receipts.
Receipts.
If you can't take it back,
Yep.
keep the receipt.
And so many places offer electronic receipts now.
I don't want that either.
So again, talk to your accountant. If it is not tax applicable and it does not concern a warranty, but I will tell you, I'm an Evernote certified consultant. A lot of you use Dropbox. Guys, they have a camera app. You can point that thing in a receipt. It takes a picture in about 2 seconds and the entire thing is searchable. So I take a receipt, I shred it. Evernote. Evernote. I take a picture of the receipt, and I mean, you can return stuff with it. I just show them on my phone. I'm like, here's the receipt. They scan the little barcode, it's fine. So if it's something you're worried about, and a lot of the companies use disappearing ink anyway, right? Because they don't want you to bring stuff back. Snap a picture of it. Evernote, any word that is on your receipt is readable. So all you have to do is type in, I don't know, sweater. And it'll pull up every receipt for a sweater that you've ever had, right? Don't go overboard, okay? You don't need to scan everything in your life. Like, maybe set yourself, again, let's set like a minimum, right? If it's over 150 bucks, if it's over 200 bucks, if it's got a lifetime warranty and it's gonna break, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, you've got Evernote pulled up there. Okay. So, what are some ways that you guys use to get organized when things when you've reached the point where you're like, something's got to change, we got to do this? What do you do? Music? Okay, music is huge, right? You go and get a massage, they put on that music, what happens, you fall asleep? Spotify has some wonderful focus stations that you can listen to. Music is a huge thing that you can do to boost your productivity, okay? Put something jazzy on if you want, like, I don't know, Justin Timberlake or something. Something you can dance to. What else?
I feel like clean sweep, I take everything out, like instead of trying to work around the stuff, I just do it out into another room and get myself.
Right? Clean palette. Well, yeah. Yeah, put like things together. One thing to do when you're organizing your house too, okay, you got that laundry basket full of stuff, you've gone through your bookcase. What do you do with the laundry basket of stuff? It's got pictures in it from your grandparents. You don't have a place for that yet. We haven't gotten to that room. Put it where you would look for it now. You can't organize the whole house in a day. Put things where you currently look for them as you're going through the house. What's another good way to get motivated, get started? Drink alcohol. I've done a lot of evening sessions doing paperwork with a bottle of wine. Yep. It works for a lot of people. I'm happy to participate. How about having a friend? Right? Who's going to tell you that you really should get rid of that sweater from college? You need a good friend or a full-length mirror. Either one of those things will help you clean out your stuff. What else? You need to know when to stop. Guess what? We get super fed up, and we get really emotional about it, and we start throwing stuff away, and we start donating things, and we go over to the top, and we burn ourselves out. So the other way to keep going with organizing is to set some limits for yourself, because I really enjoy this work, but it's not normal. People are medicated for wanting to do what I do, so don't expect yourself to find a lot of pleasure in it. And the other thing is, making decisions is taxing, okay? Let your brain rest. So don't burn yourselves out.
So I was just thinking about when you're, you have a family and you have other forces at work that might not work with you. So how do you I don't want to create any hoarders, but I would like to maybe pass some knowledge on to them. So is there like a family-friendly way to, instead of being the dictator?
Absolutely.
Put your shoes in the basket by the door, or how do you teach those things?
One thing.
Repetition.
Repetition. By the age, there's different ages where kids can handle different things. When they're very, very young, I think it's 3 and under, 1 box for toys. They don't understand dinosaurs and teddy bears, okay? So their brain is not compartmentalizing like that yet. So age-appropriate solutions. Size-appropriate solutions. If kids can't reach it, if they can't open the drawer, if it's too heavy for them, right? Pictographs are really good for kids. Put a picture, okay? One of the things that works for any age, you can change the time limits on it. With small kids, we usually do 5 minutes, and as they get older, you can go up to a half an hour. You just do a hurricane of the house. You say, anything that's yours, pick it up and put it in this basket. And then same thing like with the laundry basket when you're organizing, before you can watch TV or before you can play your video game or whatever, everything in the basket has to be put away. But they can only do that if they don't have to cram it in their closet. So don't give them too many places to hide things, because they will find them, right? And then with a spouse that's maybe not favorable, the best thing to do is just get everything that's in your power together. So we worry about ourselves first, and then the therapists recommend that you talk about common areas. And so just like we talked about setting some limits, we're only going to keep things from the last 7 years or whatever, we talk about, okay, this is a family space, so each of our limits is going to be, this bookshelf is yours, this bookshelf is mine. If you have Wall Street journals from 1925, then they have to fit on the shelf, or they got to go. And that's hard to do. That usually involves some intervention from someone who's not me. But I work with a lot of family therapists in town, and they're very nice people. But there are some things you can do, but setting a good example is the biggest way. Just start with your stuff. And then to teach kids to make decisions, do the same thing. Say, okay, pick a size of clothes, anything, you're 12 now, stuff that says 10 doesn't fit you anymore, so we need to go through and find all the 10s. And then it's already decided. You're not taking anything away from them. They know it doesn't fit them. We're just basically doing a treasure hunt looking for things that are the wrong size. So deciding some of those boundaries, but letting them participate. And I know you can throw stuff away when they're gone, but don't throw away everything to the point where it makes them a nervous wreck. It is a real thing. Like, when you take away someone's freedom of choice like that, it has some serious repercussions. Psychology of organizing. I know you're all doing your quizzes, but I'm going to talk to you while you do them. They say there are 3 phases of accumulation in life. Okay? So we might all be at different stages right now. Ages 20 to 40, what stage of accumulation do you think that is? That is buy it all. 20 to 40 is when we acquire most of the stuff we're going to have in our lives. It is houses, furniture, cars, gadgets. It's the season of life where you are bringing home a lot of things, right? Season of life 40 to 50s. You're kind of just, unless you're a shopaholic, people at that age are usually using what they bought, right? We're using things that are useful to us that we made decisions on already. Late 50s and beyond, what are we thinking about? Enjoying life. We're retiring. We don't want to go through closets. So there's a little bit more accumulation once we stop working because shopping is something we do to kill the boredom. But that's the age where we want our kids' stuff out of the house. That's the age where we're emotionally ready maybe to let some of our parents' stuff go that we inherited. That's the age where we're looking at maybe scaling down the home that we're living in. So I work for a guy today who is in his 80s, and he is an amazing woodworker. He's got 2 craft rooms, and he's got a huge woodworking garage off of his house, and then a separate one for smaller stuff. But he can't get to any of it. He literally cannot walk out to the garage to do the one thing in life that he really enjoys. His wife is not with him anymore. She passed away. And this is what his kids don't live here, and this is what he really enjoys, and he can't get to it. But that's okay, because I was there with my overalls and my pigtails and my steel-toe boots for strong spiders. So it's good to think about the different stages we are in life and making sure that none of them get to either extreme, that we're giving away things that are going to cause emotional turmoil to us or others, or if we're starting to board a little bit. Another little bit about the psychology of organizing, perfectionism, we talked about. Why do we want to be perfect? It's not possible, so why do we want it? It's because of Instagram. You guys.
Pinterest.
Okay? Those people are good at one very good thing, and photography. Okay? I have been in those houses, alright? I've worked with those people. They don't have it all together. It just looks good on camera. Okay? So you are very good at something, but nobody is perfect. So stop beating yourselves up, because that's a lot of the psychology of it. We give up because we can't be perfect. I work for a lot of people, and they say, I imagine this room, and I'm going to have my family here, and there's going to be a couch there, and, it's filled with Amazon boxes. And they've been imagining this room for 10, 12 years. Maybe they built an addition on the house to have this dream room. And they go to TJ Maxx to try and make it the dream room. But because they have that perfect thought in their head, they can't look and see what's right in front of them. They can't see the Amazon boxes. They've got to get out of the way before you can have a family in the room. So the perfectionism thing is a real problem between you and the final result. That's why break things down into small things you can actually see. Because if you're looking at the perfect big picture, that is never going to happen. I'm really sorry. It doesn't happen for me. It didn't even happen before I was married, and now it's not on the books. Okay, so the quiz, hopefully you've looked at some of the things. It's a little bit silly and it's a little extreme, but it's because people do things in different ways. So the first one is talking about scheduling. What are your favorite tips for keeping up with your schedule? What do you guys do to know where you're supposed to be? Phone, okay? New iPhone costs $1,000. Y'all can use that. It's got a very good calendar. Right? What's another way to do it? Calendar? Planners are excellent. You're more likely to remember something if you write it down. Right. Don't do so much that you cannot reminder in her phone. It's at like 7:15 every night, and it says, "Make your life easier, throw something away." Every single day. It's super cool. She's like, it makes me do it. So I'm like, oh, my phone told me to throw something away. Make up the Oh, you have a reminder for that? See? Very important. Okay. What's another way to keep up with session? Writing things down makes us remember it. Routine. Guess what? 7 habits of highly effective people. One place. Okay? One place where you write down everything. I can't show you my book because it's too tattered. Okay? It's too tattered. It's like destroyed. It's not taped together. You know, and I don't even use it that much because I keep most of my reminders on my phone, but sometimes you just need to write things down. The number one, there might not be one of the 7 things that is a habit of highly effective people is you write everything down in one place. Well, if they're highly effective, they know what they're talking about, right? Okay, second thing on your quiz is talking about keys. How many of you lose your keys? How many of you lose your phone? Lose your phone? Right? How many of you lose your wallet? Wallet? It's that one place that it goes, right? Is that what you're going to say? Okay, so again, make technology work for you. It's a tile. They have some waterproof ones now, but I think it's probably better to mess with it. They wear out the year. This is saving me more time. How much does a car key cost? Does anyone know how much a car key is these days? Between $150 and $300. She's got a tile in her wallet. So there's a it starts chirping. You just push a button on your phone and it makes your keys start chirping like a bird. My husband works in a warehouse now, but I lose my keys in 1,200 square feet all the time. I do have a hook for it now, but I just so good. Okay. Paperwork. Where do you keep your paperwork? People who live on the beach who have palmetto bugs and mold and hurricanes. Where do we keep our paperwork? Scan it. What did they say about people in Texas who lost everything? The ones who could scan their paperwork were able to access help faster. Scan it. Okay, get it in electronic file. All of the Equifax has a reach, okay? Not everything is safe. Make electronic copies. I use the Evernote app, and it's just a virtual filing cabinet. I can reproduce it for free, or, oh, she said on her tile app. If you can reproduce it for free, or there's a digital copy available to you that is acceptable, you know, for legal purposes, then that's fine. You can destroy the paperwork. If you need it, if you need an original, have a copy scanned anyway, just in case the original gets damaged. Where is a waterproof place in your house? It is not your dishwasher. I don't care what Pinterest told you. Did you read that? That's poop water, people. Poop water goes into your dishwasher and there is a flood. Do not put your grandmother's earrings in there. That made it so normal. Oh my goodness. A refrigerator does get burned. Okay? If you don't have a fireproof safe right now, you can put things in a Ziploc baggie in your refrigerator, freezer. Where's the first place people look when they break into your house? In your freezer. So what does that tell tell you, go buy a fireproof safe and hide it good. Don't hide it in your closet. It's like a place to live in your closet. Okay? Most fireproof safes are also rated for water damage, but be smart, put it up high. They're heavy, don't let them drop on your head. Okay? Is it necessary to have a filing cabinet? This is my favorite thing, you guys. Read reminders. Hey, right? It's so much easier for me to book. So you open, I got the hoarding scale in here if anybody wants to read it. Okay? Page protectors are really good for here. 3 reminders make things more accessible. You're more likely to use them. These 3 reminders can hang in a filing cabinet. So you have a filing cabinet, and that's the way you like to do things. Put some books in it, right? It's easier to get in and out of. It's easier to know what you're looking at. And if 90% of what goes in your cabinet is never going to come out again anyway, then only put the stuff in the books that really matters, right? I have these hanging in my fireproof safe. One that's got like really important records, that's the one I would grab the first. And then, well, they're all pretty important, but anyway. These can hang right in your fireproof safe. Ready? Grab and go. Okay, that's paperwork. Keep it out in front of you, that's another thing with paperwork. People like to stack, they like to pile. If we put it away, we never think about it again. If you need to keep it in front of you, it's okay. Look, they got these little plastic sleeves. We were in a car accident this summer. I got everything to do with the car accident in one of these plastic sleeves, right? They just finally sent me a check 6 months later. The whole thing can go away now, right? So if you need to keep things in front of you, make a way to do that. And they can stack, and you can still see what's in there. So it's okay to keep things in front of you. You don't have to put everything in a filing cabinet. You don't have a personal secretary. You only have Siri, and she doesn't file. Okay, storage. This is rhetorical. You don't have to put telling yourself. Who's paying for a storage unit right now? Okay, think about it. Is the stuff in your storage unit worth what you're paying for the storage unit annually? I just cleaned one out. The mice had gotten in there. And I would say probably 8 of the 15 boxes that we cleaned out were old magazines. They were like old Southern Living magazines. They were paying us to store them. The lady was so embarrassed. And I was like, it's not anything to be embarrassed about, but like, it's good we're getting it done, right? She said, we have 1 carload of stuff to go back to her house. She said, I've been paying on this thing for years. $150, $200 a month for years. Right?
What do you suggest you do with old magazines? Just recycle?
Recycling, yeah. Don't, if it's older than 6 months old, don't give it to the hospital, don't give it to the trauma center, don't put that on there. Yeah, yes. Yeah, recycling is your friend.
I have a binder of like articles that I love.
Right. That's what Pinterest is for. Okay, here's another thing. She's got a binder of articles that she loves and keeps. How many of you have used the camera function on the Pinterest app to put those articles into your Pinterest book? Hey, hey. Make your phone work for you. Or no. Exactly. Okay. Mail. What's the deal with mail? Unsubscribe from as much of it as possible. And realize that you're not perfect, so give yourself a basket to donate it to until you get to it. Don't let it live all over the house. Give it one place. It's called a half step, people. Perfectionism's over here. We're over here. We need a half step. Okay? So give yourself a half step. Be kind to yourself. What about the garage? We don't really have garages here so much. But we do have places in our houses, right? That we're supposed to be able to put the car so a tree doesn't fall on them.
This might cross over into somebody else's
Right? This is where someone else in their family's issue. Right? So I worked for a guy who was a mortgage broker, and he had his Rolex and his 2 laptops and his phone and his Mercedes in the driveway with a 3-car garage. And they stole everything. Do you know how much insurance has to kick in if a mortgage broker gets their laptop stolen? Every single person who had applied for a mortgage that was on that computer, their social security numbers were on there, bank accounts, yes, okay? And this guy was like, I think like the kids' old cribs and toys and stuff in the garage. He's like, I don't know why the car is even out here, right? But sometimes we just do something for so long that we think it makes sense. So, what have you got that's taking up valuable space? Location, location, location. Okay, the next question asks about your office. Now, most people have an office, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's both places. Sometimes it's a kitchen counter. What do you do to keep your office organized? Walk away. Our solution is walk away. You don't know like us. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you one suggestion. OSHA requirements mean you're supposed to have 3 feet of walking space. Right? How many of us have 3 feet of walking space around our desks, around our filing cabinets? We got stuff on the floor, maybe. Okay? OSHA's not going to come and inspect your home office, but it's a good practice. Another thing is, we've learned a lot of tips tonight. What do you do about 2017 that's sitting in a stack on your desk? Don't go backwards, okay? These are really, really good tips to start implementing in 2018, but if you start going backwards, if you start trying to fix things that already happened, if it's not ready to be thrown away, put it in a big box that says 2017 and be done with it. Start your new finance system, start your new processes with the new year, but if you start going backwards, you're gonna beat yourself up emotionally so much that you're not gonna get anything done. So go forward, always go forward, don't go backwards. Okay, closets are my favorite. Okay? Paperwork is like the most boring thing alive, and it's 99% of the reason people call me. Closets are so much fun. What do you do to keep your closet together? Seasonal changes. If you have the opportunity, that helps a lot. There's been a lot of talk recently about like capsule wardrobes and being able to switch things out, kind of. They're talking a lot about people in New York that have storage facilities to send their clothes to when it's off season. Yeah. Question is, do you own your stuff or does your stuff own you? Right? If it is stealing weeks of your life, right? If it's making your blood pressure go up, if after 9 days it's putting the nervous system in a shock, right? That means your stuff owns you. So there's some ways that we can get it in control, and I'm just going to show you a couple of my favorite things before we go. All right. We got 2 containery things here. Sorry, me about. What's the point of one or the other? Right? Drawer separators? Okay. This is really good for messy kids and messy husbands because crumbs fall through it. Okay? You can lift it out, vacuum out the drawer, boom, you're done. Okay? So this kind of thing is really good for that. This is really good if there's something liquid going in the drawer. You know, you got a place for your stash of candy, that sort of thing. These are nice too. You can get these at the dollar store because they come in a lot of different shapes and you can kind of build your drawer and fill it out completely. There's no such thing as a junk drawer, people. Everything is like all the big junk. Okay, little baggies. What are they good for?
Makeup.
Yep. So I got one in my purse that's like makeup, one that is for hair deal things.
Yes.
Cords.
Right? Cords, one
First
for
aid
electronic
kits.
cords. Yep, first aid kits.
Kits.
So instead of having a bunch of junk in your purse that, you know, the cough drop's gonna melt and get all over it, the little bags help a lot just to keep things separated. Lazy Susans. How many people have a Lazy Susan in their fridge? All right, containers. What's good about this container? It's clear, right? Okay, you can see what's in it. Also, I've decorated it. How many sides did I decorate it on? Right, because guess what? You live with other people, and they're not always going to put the box back in the way you put it in. I do this for all my clients, because even one person that I work with will not put it back in with the label facing out. Okay? It's just not human nature to check. You're just like, shove it there, it's fine. Okay? All 4 sides. Doesn't matter who picks it up. Sometimes I even label the top. It'll feel a little, crazy. What kind of label makers do we use here at the beach? Yes. Right? Moisture resistant. This bad boy will stay on. Okay, I'm going to write on this label clothes I had in college that I wore from the years 19... no. How many words do we put on a label? 1 to 3 words. Okay? If you have to think past 3 words, there's too many different things in that life, right? Okay? Also, you want anybody in the house to be able to grab it, and you don't want to have to write out 15 words 5 times. Okay? So 1 to 3 words, keep it simple. I recommend all caps just because it's more legible, it's easier to go along with. I do have a label maker. It's been with me from the beginning. 2001 model. Okay? Brother has some really pretty ones out now. You don't have to get this one. But he's still kicking. I label my 3 reminders. This one's my show binder, so it's not labeled. But again, 1 to 3 words. Keep it easy, keep it simple. Don't mess it up. Closets, guys. I don't have these little felt hangers, but I'm getting there because, each box closet thing. Why is it important to have matching hangers? Looks pretty. Okay? Visual clutter. They worry about people who are on the spectrum and who have ADHD, things that cause visual clutter, but guess what? It's not really that great for the rest of us either. So what do you see when all your hangers are the same? You see your clothes, right? Also, they're designed to sit next to each other, so you're not creating these weird spaces. These are designed so things won't fall off of them. All the same of something. And how much do you spend on your clothes, you guys? You can go to TJ Maxx, it's like $15 for a pack. And the other thing is, when you have, I can't remember how, I gave myself a certain number of hangers. But anyway, I was like, if it doesn't have a hanger, then I can't have it, right? So I have a certain number of hangers that fit in my closet. I bought the hangers I wanted. And now, if I don't have enough hangers for something to hang up, it means I got too many clothes. Right, so there's another sort of arbitrary limit that you set for yourself that helps you make those decisions. Okay, anybody got any favorite organizing? Anything before we go? Yes. Couldn't find anything. She's some colorful language. Right? So, what happens when we put everything away in our brains? We have that whole muscle memory thing. We're going to go back to the same place we always do it. What do? These are super cool little sticky things. Okay? I put them on the inside of closet doors and stuff, inside of attics for people, and I draw maps. I just did this guy's office while he was gone. He was gone for 2 weeks, and I took his entire office apart because I just fixed it. Right? But it works for a list in kitchen and just put the things that you might be looking for there. The other thing is, you don't have to put all the scissors together. You can have scissors in every room. You know, there's things like that that you can spread out. But making a list for the new program is good for you and it's good for the other people who are living there too. Right? So when you say go put it away, you can say, go look at the map. Anybody else? What do you think? What do you do if you can't find the stuff that you've organized? What's that? Go buy a new one, right? So a map is important. But the whole thing about taking everything out and touching it and having to put it away too, it's supposed to help your brain. It's supposed to help your brain remember. So that process and going through it is supposed to be a help. Okay, this is my last tip. This is my car bag. He's a little rough. If he's in the house, I know he needs to go to the car. If he's in the car, I know he needs to go to the house. That whole one place for things, you know, this is stuff I need to return or stuff I need to buy. Like I'll throw a battery in there if I need to remember to buy a battery. But it's kind of like just hangs next to the door where my keys are supposed to go.
I got one.
You got one?
And I actually want to do every day when I go to work, the stuff that I want to go through and look at, or stuff I need to do this and that, I have that bag.
Right? Okay. So one place, and then you just know, like, okay, that's going, just when you grab your purse, it just automatically goes with me. I dumped everything from this bag on the floor of my car and put it in here, so. So like, that was the other thing I was going to tell you. You see me driving around town, my car is full of junk. One of the things I do is haul everything away once I decide to get rid of it. So that's why I constantly look like I'm homeless. I'll see the station wagon somewhere. This was really fun, you guys. Do you have any other questions? Yes, ma'am? That was you.
Tips if you don't like to hang things or iron.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Marie,
Steamer. Yes.
Steamer's really good.
Yeah.
I just hang things in the bathroom and take a shower.
The downy sprays and
Yeah.
Wrinkle release is awesome. The Marie Kondo, who knows how to fold clothes in a file cabinet fashion? Or
Well, I read the book.
right? Okay.
It's a pain in the ass.
Do you guys do that in store? Like,
I do it.
Do you? Okay, so in the old days, the military used to roll everything because it was tighter for packing, but they realize now that you can like almost file your shirts in your hands. You've probably seen it on Pinterest. I did not bring a demonstration here today. But it is a great way to fold things and it is wrinkle reducing. Because they just call it file, like clothes file.
It's on the book, The Magical Art of Tidying Up.
Yeah.
It's in this book, but if you just go on Pinterest and look for clothes filing,
No, I have.
So like Sushi Magic of Tidying Up. It's by Marie Kondo.